What do we need for a form?
3.
Right now, we're good.
Okay, recording started.
Ready? Okay. So 6:31 PM, time for the City of Torrington Conservation Commission meeting. City Hall, 140 Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Present is Dan McGinnis, Karen Svets, myself, Aaron Stelma on Teams, and our staff member, Nate Nardi Cyrus. We have a guest, Barbara Trujillo. And next order of business is.
I'm
the-
sorry, Barbara, could you spell your name again? Just for...
My name is Barbara, B-A-R,
Yep,
B-A-R-A.
yep. And then last name?
Trujillo, T-R-U-J-I-L-L-O.
Thank you.
Okay, so next order of business is the July 23rd special meeting minutes for approval. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Okay, new business, Lovers Lane Solar Development.
So I don't know if you have, we don't have to do it in this order because you're here, Barbara. Like,
Oh, do you want to?
if you want to cover what you have to do, and then that way, I don't know
Okay.
if you plan on staying the whole meeting, but we can just talk about our project first, so that.
Okay, so we're gonna do our Bannon Street Food Forest event preparation.
Yes, so,
Move one.
more of these.
No, one.
Oh,
And then that.
envelopes and these.
Yeah, maybe.
Um,
Thank you.
so for you, not knowing too much about this project, this is, in Bannon Street. So off of North Elm Street, there's a nice park, Route 4 up that way. There's a nice park up there. And this group has in the past done plantings for the community. So fruit trees, things like that in public places like parks, so that people can come without having to pay and just, grab stuff off the orchard. Just something easy for people to do when they're bringing their kids to the park or doing whatever. So, so the plan is to do it at this Bannon Street Park here. We're getting our plantings for free from an organization that, gets stuff for the Litchfield County area. So we're all pretty much good. We're just trying to get folks there. We want to focus primarily on Bannon Street, in those neighborhoods. And that's what these are all the units that are around Bannon Street and North Elm, just inviting them to come and, do a bunch of activities. We're gonna try to have food and all that kind of stuff there as well. So, hey, George.
Sorry.
George Craig.
It's 30.
6:30
We're just prompt.
for once.
I know, right?
Oh, you?
Very good, nice to see you.
Great to see you
Do you
too.
know Barbara?
Yes, I
know
do.
you.
Yeah, Soul?
It's all right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically, so that's what these are all gonna have mailings in English and Spanish for folks to inviting them to come out to the event and participate in it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it's gonna be very good.
Yeah, and
Yes.
and so, yeah, right now, we're just trying to work out the logistics of the event. I know Christine invited you to come there, and it'd be just nice. None of us are fluent Spanish speakers, and we hope to,
Yes,
to
yeah, I
bring
will do
folks
my
in,
best
so.
to help in anything. There are people who maybe don't understand very well,
right,
but I can explain them, what you're trying to do to help to the community
right,
in Spanish,
right,
people who needs stuff, who they don't have enough money to pay something,
right,
they can come and enjoy.
right. That's the
Right?
idea.
Yep, yep.
Exactly.
And don't be afraid like to just come, because sometimes they feel embarrassed.
Right, yeah,
Try to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
right. And if you have your kids at the park anyway, it's okay to go over and,
yeah, have some-
and have some fruit. Yeah.
So the other thing, you were saying that you have only certain days available. This event, it is in the morning, so maybe it's okay. It's at 10 AM on a Saturday, on the 21st of September.
On Saturday.
Yeah,
And Saturday is when I have to work all day. So my heavy days is on the weekends.
Yeah.
like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And
Mm.
yeah,
What time do you start?
I start at 11:30, but
Okay.
I don't know if, I know it's at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, how
but
long will
do
it
I
go
have
for?
Time to do it?
So, yeah, I guess we can, maybe we just put a pin in this conversation and I can explain. So I met with the group that's giving us the trees and they kind of
Mhm.
made some changes to the plan that I wanted to run by everyone here and make sure we're on the same page. And that might affect the timing of it
Okay.
and all that.
Okay.
So I met with the Conservation District today. The first thing we talked about was the fact that originally we were supposed to have this event and then a planting event in October. And I really think that we should probably just be focusing on a single event. If we're trying to
Mm.
get people here,
Okay,
we have these mailings, right? Like,
right,
we're not gonna get another shot at it.
right.
So I think it's better that we kind of like focus all of our energy on September. We can still plant in September. And
Mhm.
with this year, it's been kind of a good year for that.
Okay.
And I don't know, I've planted stuff in mid-September and had it turn out fine. So they agreed. Originally, they had thought that their grant had required them to have an outreach event separate, but then they thought about it some more and said, well, as long as there's outreach happening at the event, should be fine to do it
Okay.
that way. So first of all, that's the first question. Like, do you think that that's a good idea?
I
or
thought the same thing, but I wasn't, but what do I know? I haven't really run these events before.
Yeah,
But I kind of thought if we can get people to come, to ask people to come twice is difficult. If we can get people to come, the
Yeah,
one
you can only
time.
entice them once.
Right, we have the
Are
one
you
time.
saying
And
it's
if it goes
22nd?
well,
21st.
The 21st, okay.
like, I mean, and what would that outreach event be? Is it
Okay,
just
yeah, okay.
informational and then they go home? You know what I mean? It goes like
Right.
a cookout, like if it was a cookout, I think people
Right.
would come.
Right.
And then maybe, plant, I don't know, at another time. But I think if we have this event to do the planting and the explaining that, we just need to do it once.
Right. Yeah, and there's nothing stopping us. I mean, so we were agreeing on this September 21st date because it's Clean Up the World when we usually do our stuff. We're gonna do a little park cleanup
Mhm.
there, and kind of, synergy with Save the Sound does a big trash cleanup.
Okay,
That was my original thinking with that as an outreach date, but there's nothing stopping us from just doing it in
I mean, in
October.
October, right.
I mean, part of what I was thinking was I wanted to get NIPS money from the NIPS tax
Mhm.
to we could get snacks and food and stuff like that a little without
Okay.
having to go beg for
Beg for
donations.
Yeah,
So I thought that would be we could make a case that we're doing it as a part of this cleanup, but we could do that anytime, I think.
Right.
If we say we're gonna clean up Bannon Street
right,
in October, it doesn't really
right.
make much
Doesn't have
difference
to,
to
it doesn't
them.
matter what the date is.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's kind of up to you guys if you think, I mean, it would give us a little bit more time too.
I'd rather have the extra time to get people out, but I don't know what other people think. Does
Well,
anybody
I
have?
just know that my boss asked me to watch his dog because they have to go to Vermont for a wedding, and I hated to say no, which is on that 21st, so.
Oh, so moving it to
Yeah, that would be
October
better
would be
for
better
me.
for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think October. For some reason, September is crazy for me. but-
Yeah, I think September's crazy for a lot of families, like school starting
School's
up.
back, yeah. So maybe October. I don't think that the Conservation District, I think they'll be happy because they're really squeezed. I mean, as you know, Dan, too, they're like, they're down staff and.
Yeah, they're-
So do
um,
we have a date in October or not yet?
We didn't, so this is a good opportunity to pick it, I mean, I know you said you work weekends, so it would be challenging not to do it on a weekend, I think, but I mean, we could.
No.
Yeah,
No, yeah, I think that has to be a weekend, but that morning time, like if, nothing says she has to be there that long,
it's true,
right?
yeah.
She
true.
could stop by.
Well, and as a part of that, they said because it was originally 2 events, we are gonna do an hour,
Mhm.
they'd like to have 2 hours, which I think
Okay.
makes sense because
Yep.
they want to do a little bit of talking about the project.
Mhm.
They have like stations with like a watershed table and they want to do some outreach for
Mhm.
our like municipal tree inventory stuff. They said they'd partner on that. So they have like some educational stuff. They thought maybe if we did the raspberries that we could like give them out at a table and do some
Mhm.
kind of thing like that. And then also have the planting as a part
Mhm.
of it and to do all that stuff in 1 hour.
Okay.
2
hard,
hours might be
right.
a little bit more comfortable.
The other thing is that
Mhm.
Barbara could help us with is recruiting somebody who could be there the 2 hours on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Do you know someone else who could help translate for us on a Saturday if you can't do it?
My daughter.
Yeah? Okay.
She's bilingual. She
Okay.
didn't come today, but I can, if she's still here yet in Torrington,
Yeah.
I can tell her come because she's right now with me,
Mhm.
but she's trying to, she's applying to move to Boston
Oh, okay,
to work.
okay.
But I wish she stayed in Torrington. It's not possible. She did biochemistry, so
Yeah, yeah.
she can find very easily over
Okay.
here, so
Yeah,
she has
yeah.
to go over there. But she's still here. I think it's we
So
are
she's a possibility.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
But yeah.
I hope she's in, I'm gonna talk to her, but I hope she's here in October. But
Okay.
I will find out more people, someone else to
Yeah, I
do
have a
a
relative
bilingual
who's
too.
bilingual,
But,
whether or not.
yeah,
they'll be
Yeah.
available
the
on
other thing, I'm
day,
just
I'm not sure.
realizing my,
Yeah.
my neighbor's daughter,
I'll get my grand.
I don't know their last name, but they are,
Mhm.
they're Dominican and they have they
Oh,
just
okay.
moved here from New York. Not just, it's been like 2 years, but it seems new to me. They just moved here from New York and they have a daughter who is fluent in both Spanish and English, so she's a possibility.
Well, there's
too.
many people, just, I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully there's folks that want to come,
Yeah.
just, we'll hopefully have
Yeah.
food and make it like a little bit of a party
Yeah.
atmosphere and just having as many people there as possible
Okay,
would be good.
So
So
we're changing it now from the 22nd to another date then?
21st
I mean, 21st to
to,
another, okay.
right,
I
okay,
think-
so.
I think
our
we're all
date-
in agreement that that
Yeah,
might be
fine.
best to do.
One other question. So, we're gonna be on the city's website. We have to find
Yep.
ways we can market this.
Yeah, and this will give us a little bit more time. We'll have one more meeting before to push it all out. And to be honest, I have a lot of this stuff keyed up and I'll go over some other points that will benefit from waiting a little bit for the time. The conservation district, so I guess so that's broadly. So if we move the date to October, did you want to pick a date now? Because it might be good to just do it.
19th,
The 19th?
Do you want to go that far? Because you might want to go a little bit
the
earlier.
12th?
Well,
Do the
was
12th.
that like that
Labor Day.
Indigenous Peoples'
That may,
Weekend?
Labor Day, I mean, Columbus Day. Whatever. you
That
wanna call
week-
it.
that
Well,
week.
this
I'm
was
not
a bad
available
dude, so I'm
on
on
the
board with
5th.
the Indigenous.
What?
I'm not available on the 5th. But,
Not the 5th, but
not the
maybe.
5th, but I could do the 12th, I could do the
Do
19th,
we want to also pick an alternate date? If rain
in
day?
case it's a rain. Well, we could do the 12th.
mean-
I don't know.
Yeah, we thought about that too, and it's like, a difficult thing to communicate,
Mhm.
but we could do that.
Yeah. I would
But we
think
should
so
do it in the
too.
letter if we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
But then it's hard to like, how do you know it's, or enough
How do you,
rain
right,
and
who
like,
called it off? Did it get called off? Or like, where do
Yeah.
you go to find out?
right,
So it's-
Yeah.
You'd have to talk to two of you.
right,
Yeah, it's a pain to do,
yeah, I know.
but,
But what's the alternative?
yeah, the thunderstorms.
Wear
and,
a
you know,
raincoat.
if it rains,
Well, the nice thing about this site is that there is a pavilion,
Yeah,
but it's like, who's gonna show up,
Right,
and it's,
right.
show
Especially a
who's gonna
plant.
yeah,
it'll be me. I will come plant in the thunderstorm.
yeah. So we could do a rain date if we would do, you can't do the 5th, so the 12th and
I
the,
can do the 12th
and the
and
19th
12th
is,
and 19th.
and the 19th
Okay,
is like
so
a
12th it
last.
is?
Yep, we're gonna focus on the 12th. You can't do the 12th?
Well, sometimes I go away that weekend, but if it's in the morning, I could probably,
This is
work
only
it
on the
out.
weekend.
October
To
12th,
plan.
right?
So,
October
yeah, we
12th,
have,
yeah.
because it's gonna be a community event, so it can't be
Mhm.
during most people's working hours,
Mhm.
but it will be morning.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's probably like from 10 to 12.
Oh,
So,
okay, 10 to
so
12.
10 to 12. So,
Okay.
I don't know how much time you need to get yourself mentally prepared for work, but you could be there at 10. I don't know what your morning.
How far is from here to go over there to?
Oh, it's,
near
let
or-
It's
me show you
near-
where it is.
I
Yeah,
don't even know where it is.
So
It's some kind of-
Bannon Street Park, Google
So-
Maps. Oh, it's gonna show us.
it's, so here's where they're demolishing those buildings.
That's Route 4.
This is the Ocean State Job Lot
Yeah.
in Price Right up
Oh, okay,
here.
so where is Pride right?
Price Right's right here.
Yeah, I see
So you know how you have to pull into that weird street that only goes to that plaza there?
Yes, what is it, Planet Venus?
Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
it's up this
Like going to
direction,
Ocean?
up here. Yeah, toward Goshen.
I guess I saw a park over there.
It's
to
up
the
here.
right.
That's where
Yep.
it is.
Also,
Yep.
it's over there where
Yep.
we're not planned and.
Yep. So it's in this park. So it's very close. This is North Elm Street that goes to Goshen.
There is like a
Before.
parking area, a playground. This still the playground?
Yes.
That's the place
Yes, it's
where
right next to it.
So it's gonna be,
Okay, I
yeah,
feel like I
we're
saw something on
planting,
the
there's the
side.
playground. Where are we planting?
This is the area that the conservation
Right
district
there,
wants to
okay.
do it, yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay, I think I
Is
know
that
where is the
close to
place.
you?
I think, yes, I can go over there, yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
No idea.
Do you know that neighborhood?
Who's bringing
No,
shovels?
I
and
You
things
don't know
like
the
that?
neighborhood?
That's
I
the
remember I
conservation
bring my
district
daughter
has all
there
that
when she
stuff.
was a baby.
That's the-
How do you
Yeah.
bring water?
I feel like
So
No
it
place has
is-
water for
Yeah,
a
so
few weeks.
I can go over, we went over like everything.
Okay.
And I'll definitely go, but we're okay with the 12th and the rain date for the 19th. That seems like
I'm good with
a
that.
good plan.
Yeah.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
I'm just thinking who can come for me, rather if I stay in
During.
Saturday, I have to 11:30, so if I open, someone come for me.
Yeah.
We are only two people. I
Oh,
can-
in the mornings,
yes,
yeah.
in the morning, so.
So you're
like-
there much earlier preparing.
Yes, because I am the first one. to
Yeah,
s- to
got it.
Open the door at 11:30, but if I come, I switch with the other to come at 12. Maybe I can tell to my boss, I arrive at 12:30.
Okay.
At 12:30, 30 minutes.
Okay.
Saturdays is a busy day for him and Sundays too.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, I mean, we don't want to mess any of that up.
Yes.
Well, maybe we
I'm
can
just thinking.
cater some snacks from Cafe Soul.
Yeah.
We have money now,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
Yes. So,
Okay,
but it has to be, how many times we had to go over there? So, I mean,
just
because
so it's gonna
just
be,
this day.
but it's this
It's
day,
right-
one day,
it's by-
but if it rains, we're gonna do the
Okay.
weekend
Litchfield
after the
Street, it's
Saturday.
one of
Oh,
those
okay.
side
So I had to
streets
be-
where the
I had
Elks
to
is,
prepare.
where the
Okay,
Elks
yeah.
is,
If
yeah.
I
For
go,
possibility
I
of
go out,
both.
so either one.
Yeah,
Nice
and it would be from
It's in
10 to
October.
12.
Yeah,
Other than
Okay.
the little area, Target.
I can,
the East End crowd.
I can
Yeah.
tell them I
That's-
arrive
That's
at,
what we had, that's.
I want to
catered
work.
Last
Okay.
time, yeah.
Okay, switch
I'm
with
gonna-
somebody, okay,
Yes, or.
okay.
Didn't the restaurant sponsor our
Yes.
cleanup last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, for 2 years.
Well, they,
I mean, he gives me a nice deal, but I pay for it. But it's, he makes a lot of food for what I do.
I gotta go back, it's been a while since I've been in there. Are you still working there?
I'm still working there,
Okay,
yes.
okay, it's been a long time. Okay, yeah.
Yes, I still working there and they cook very good. They have a lot of people coming now.
Okay.
So I'm trying to help them a little bit to, to fix the place. I do my best. Because outside on the side where is the parking lot, they had to fix too many things over there to clean, to cut the grass,
Yeah,
a little of everything. So I'm doing my best, but
You're doing
I
that?
can't by myself. I'm working and when I am, it's slow, I go out and I clean a little bit and I come back again and I'm like this.
In and out.
Yes,
Okay.
cool.
so.
All right, is there
I'm
anything,
gonna talk with
Yeah,
somebody.
and then
if they
just-
can.
you can text me or call me
Yes, I
and
will
let me
text you.
know, yeah,
that's
Yeah,
probably
I
easier
can
getting a
tell
little bit more time than
yeah.
having it in September
Yeah.
for your schedule, okay, well, so the other things, I guess broadly, we talked about logistics for the planting event as well.
Mhm.
This is what they actually went out today because they weren't sure. Originally, we were looking at this spot right here,
Yeah,
but you can see it does not, well, that's a better shot, but it does not look particularly healthy.
right,
It was at one point where the old swing set was.
so it's like a sand pit.
So it's very well drained.
Mhm.
And it's not there. Now it's becoming what it was. There it is. So I think they went out there and said that we're going to need so much soil amendment in here to actually get this good that they wanted to move it over here.
Okay,
I don't know. There's another good reason to have more time. I don't know that Public Works is going to want to create
share
more. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me do that now. You're wondering what am I talking about? Okay, let's see.
I knew what you were talking about before, but we're not seeing things move.
Yes. Can you see it now?
I can, thank you.
Yes. Yeah, and say that again next time too, because I just forget sometimes. So yeah, so this is Bannon Street Park for Aaron, and then this is the area that they were proposing. But this is a weird little
yeah.
spot back there, and it kind of makes that weird little spot even bigger.
I have a question. What if we did it in front? Instead of in the sand pit, what if it was if you just
Here?
rotated that 90 degrees? Yeah,
I'm just gonna draw those in just as like a,
question mark.
yeah. My thought was, let's see. Color. And I'm gonna- Okay, well, I'm just gonna.
And then the other thing is I have the client of mine who's donating the raspberries.
Yeah,
She plants, I've never seen anything like it. She's got the most amazing, she has a world-renowned garden. It's in sand. She plants in sand. And she has.
just waters it a lot and doesn't have to deal with it.
Maybe, I mean, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I never see her out there watering. I know that it makes her life really happy with weeds, but, you know, she just goes with his little scraper and scrapes the weeds out. But she has, more stuff growing than I have ever seen on an individual level. Like, I just can't even get over it, and her stuff is insane. She can't do enough with it, so maybe, she should chat with the.
Yeah, well, that's
conservation
that's a possibility too,
district.
if they think they
Like,
can make it
What
work.
is it? Yeah.
Yes, I know I have 6 small blueberry bushes, and there's apple trees.
I have 3 apples.
3
Yep.
apples, what else do we have? Raspberries?
I don't think we
don't have
had
raspberries.
raspberries.
Raspberries are, my client has a big thing
Oh,
of ever
Okay,
bearing raspberries that she is pulling up and looking to give away.
okay.
So I said like we could give them out. We could give out pretty
In the
much mature.
conservation-
We
If
could
you
give
can't-
pretty
if you
much
can't find a
mature,
home, I'll give 'em all.
yeah.
And then
plantings.
Jeremy has something, currants,
Yes, he has currants, yeah.
so those 3 items were planted.
And then
then
there
there
was
was-
rhubarb, but there was a worry about the rhubarb.
Right.
I still feel like we could plant the rhubarb. People don't have to eat it.
But regardless, we at least have those 3
Yeah.
things. And then there,
And do you want them like all, like I'm just
There,
looking.
she's
like-
gonna, so I think in permaculture, you're making a, somebody remind me of the term, a guild, so you have a fruit tree and then there's a guild around it, under
Okay.
each tree, so I think she has enough to, I think that was what the plan
right,
was.
so it would be
I-
like, this is one tree, and then
Yeah.
there would be a certain number of berries, and then a certain number so that they're in different heights.
Right,
So the whole
Okay.
thing is used, and they don't need as much light under the tree here. That's my understanding of
Right.
it.
the stuff that's under the tree, and they have like
Oh.
a symbiotic relationship, they help each other grow.
Okay,
But it
So
would be all
that's-
mulched underneath with, I guess they were talking about another like a perennial like asparagus or rhubarb at the very bottom.
Mhm.
And that's what we don't necessarily have yet. And that's where it would be great to get like an island or a South American crop or something like that in there that's perennial, that comes up every year, versus just like rhubarb, or just so that people are familiar with it too, if they're, want to do something
Do you
different.
have a suggestion for one, like a perennial green or perennial plant that,
Or if you know someone who gardens
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, I know
Or
someone,
even
but he just moved to Miami.
Oh.
He
Oh, so we
knows-
can raid
he
his
knows
garden.
the garden. He do my friend's garden house where I live right now.
Yeah.
He plant mint. He already put some peach
peach trees?
Right.
trees is growing up now, it's like this,
Yeah.
back of the
So
garage.
we're,
He's very good, but he's just in Miami, and
Uh-huh.
he has a good hand to cultivate, to see what is bad,
Mhm.
what is.
Right.
Mm,
Different
yeah.
areas and
Let me see who else.
But so
maybe.
we're thinking about some type of plant familiar to
Mhm.
Spanish-speaking populations
Oh, okay.
that is a perennial, meaning it comes back on its own. You don't have to plant it every year. And that's recognizable. And like, we're looking for herbaceous, right? We're looking for a green.
it dies every winter and it comes back.
Right, so it dies down, but then the roots stay alive and it comes
Yeah.
back in the spring. So we're looking for something like that would,
Men,
mint.
You could do
I
I
that.
just-
have
over
a
now.
lot of men in the house, so they grow every year.
It does.
Yeah.
It does
But
take
is
over,
it-
but we could
is it
contain it or
used?
something.
Yeah.
We can put like a landscaping containment, or
It's a good idea.
it's easy. Anyone can cut mint at their house and
You know
And
right
they-
away
propagate
what
it.
it is, as soon
Everybody-
as you smell it.
Everybody comes to do for medicine, or they do the tea.
Oh,
They-
the
Right,
tea.
right, yeah.
They do teas in winter, and so they can come before it's winter,
Mhm.
Yeah.
take some.
It's a
In
good idea.
Morocco, they were big on mint tea, and I don't like mint. Like, where's your regular tea?
And people knows that, if you cultivate mint there, people will know you have mint there besides the rest of the fruits is
Mhm.
coming up.
Yeah.
So they wanna say, oh,
This
so
would be
they
good,
have this
yeah.
too. So that, they wanna know, so they wanna say, oh, you have mint there, so they wanna come to get the mint.
Yeah.
Right,
beside-
right, good idea.
Well, that's definitely, and that's easy to do. I can
Yeah,
even
and
pose
it's
that. I'm sure we can find someone with a garden because I don't know if you can get a cutting to establish this quickly, but
You just
Maybe.
pull the center out.
Yeah. I
a
have so much-
stumper
I have-
with
you
root
can't
on
go
it.
into this
Yeah.
stuff. I mean,
That's what I
Take
mean.
a block of it, like
a lot of
from
times
your
what
garden
we
and lift it
find-
out. Stick it in there.
My firm, they have they cut those plastic barrels in half
Yeah.
and they plant them in there. It comes back every year.
I've
and it
seen that
does
where
it.
they'll sink a
They
pot or
found
something
the-
in the ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't, it'll go
It'll just go,
everywhere.
yeah.
But
Oh, that's to contain the root.
Yeah.
Yeah.
even if you did multiple mints, right? There's like
Right.
different
Different
kinds,
kinds,
and,
yeah.
you know, that could be kind of like
Yeah,
lemon mint,
But
peppermint.
that might, maybe we could do that with like some herbs, maybe sage. maybe-
Pepper, I think peppermint is for peace. That's what I understood because I brought to one of my partners from work to do their mojitos.
I was like, no.
Mojitos, and they say, no,
No,
this
it's
is
gotta be
peppermint.
Spearmint.
This is more for tea.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. And I said, okay, so I think I have, so the mint is in back of the garage and to the front house is the peppermint.
Okay.
That's what I understood. So there are more.
Different kinds,
You can
yeah.
do different things, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is great, yeah. And I was thinking with, we can either do it here, like you're saying, maybe I could try to get Public Works to let us do it in the front,
Mhm, mhm.
Obviously, I don't think we want to be like back here or like
Right,
over
right.
here where there's not really
Right,
like a lot of visibility.
right.
I think it could even work here because this is south,
That seems like a
That's gonna
really,
work?
that actually seems like a nice spot.
but I can bring these and see if maybe Public Works, if they're like, whatever, we don't care.
Right, then you get to just pick your spot.
Then I would just propose those.
There's also we'll plant it and, ask forgiveness later.
I don't want to do that because then,
Well,
because then we
they
won't get
mow it
access to
Down, then they,
it.
yeah, and they mow it right down. I
Or-
mean, it's,
or
and
we
plus
won't-
we want to do more, yeah,
Or they won't let us do it in another park.
you know.
But anyway, so yes, that was the location for that. That's good. Let's see, they said they would provide us with a maintenance plan.
Okay.
So that we can, the Conservation Commission and hopefully volunteers will take up maintenance because it all won't be established for a couple of years till it's fruit bearing and all that. They had a contact at Supreme Forest Products to get us mulch. They're gonna supply the little collars for the fruit trees so the mice don't get at them. And compost as an amendment for the soil if it
Okay.
needs it. So they said that they would be able to get that donated probably. We wouldn't have to worry about that. They had a great idea because they were talking about irrigation, just like you were saying, right? Like we need to have a tank. So I'm gonna follow up with Public Works. I think they probably have a water tank because they have all those containerized pots in downtown. Like they can't mix tanks. They must have a dedicated water tank.
Nate, we had a tank up at the senior center gardens up on Mountain Road. Now we have a well up there. I wonder if that tank is downtown and it's available.
Oh, that would be great.
It was a nice tank.
Was it the, whose tank was it?
I think it was the city's.
See, the seniors.
It was the senior
Yeah, the
centers?
Senior center, yeah.
So I could follow up with the senior center. I don't have a truck. I mean, I guess I could try to finagle one at work, but,
I know
Just
somebody
an
who
idea.
might
I mean,
have a spare
I
tank.
imagine it's somewhere downtown now.
yeah, we would just have to, as long as we can establish who has a tank. They said they could probably do it through the conservation district, but if we could do it, I think it'd be helpful if we had to go water again next year or something, just knowing where a tank is. So their other thought, which again, this is more of a like future thing, right? Probably next year, they were saying, wouldn't it be great to get a rain barrel established on this roof? And then that way folks can water right off the roof, especially if it was right here or here, just leave a can there or something like that and have that be something that people can do in the neighborhood. Not this year, it's not gonna work this year.
Does it have a gutter?
No gutter
No
system,
gutter,
so
okay.
they'd have to, maybe
They'd have
Public
to
Works
put
has
it
a gutter, an
okay.
extra gutter lying around.
Okay,
Maybe not. Maybe they could get a grant to do that. Maybe it's not something we want to do, but it's something we could look at next year. I think this year is, but it would be kind of cool to have that self-sufficient sort of watering system because there's no water on site other than that. We'd have to bring it in with a tank. Trying to go through everything. I have to-
So once the tank is there, someone's gotta be in charge of watering, like how's that gonna happen?
Well, for the winter, right, we're gonna need a tank for the initial event, right, just to water them in for the winter. So we'll have to have a tank there just to get the ground nice and wet. Then they'll kind of be going dormant, so we don't have to worry about it all winter.
Oh,
And then
okay.
the spring will happen and then depending on how early, we're gonna have to make sure that we help. I mean, a fall planting is good because you're watering it in and then it's a little bit more,
Part of the community
resilient.
outreach is to try and get a group who wants to steward it,
yeah,
right? Am I incorrect in that?
yes. Yes, I assume we're probably gonna be the stop, we're gonna be the
Yeah.
transition,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
And if not, eventually it won't really need
Right.
too
that's
much
kind
care
of the point,
anyway.
yeah.
This person would be ideal if one of the aerial photos has like,
Somebody with a garden.
yeah, of course I went way back. There was like a hose in the picture.
Oh, there-
Washing their car.
And I was like, if
Your
they could just
job-
bring that over
your
here,
job is to-
they could just water,
Except it is.
right? But,
They're washing their car.
right, exactly.
Please wash your car next to the community.
So anyway, having someone close would be the ideal, but for now, we have to assume we're not gonna have anyone and then just be able to like pass it off
Okay.
when we can. But I think fall, if we get it all in the ground fall, we can kind of reevaluate, plan for the spring and maybe even schedule parties or events after that,
Right,
that become
right.
just like even a picnic, like a conservation
Like a block
commission
party.
picnic or something like that, where we talk about other things, but then we do our little tree maintenance thing,
I
get
think that
food.
Fashion outreach would be really great if we did, conservation block parties and, in the areas that we're looking to do this and have it be an ongoing thing.
Right. Yeah, so that all sounds good. They're gonna get me a map. Pick up for plants. They were curious. Can everyone who has plants, I know Jeremy, it's just the three of you that have plants right now?
The leaves are changing color, but that's probably normal.
I think so. If you're watering it regularly, I think
don't
it's
know.
okay. Things are, maybe they're a little stressed, but it doesn't mean
Yeah.
that can't take it,
Okay, so what was the curiosity about?
And is everyone comfortable bringing the plants themselves or do they need to arrange transportation?
I might need to arrange transportation because I have a Prius.
Okay.
For the apple trees.
I can bring mine, and if I'm
The RV.
for some reason not gonna be there, I'll.
So, and how about the animals? If they
Okay.
don't,
Somebody.
Some of them might. Oh.
yeah, when.
Well, if they're
people-
coming to get the apple trees, I could have them get everything if they're in
Oh.
Torrington, or you
But I
could,
can also try and arrange. I have family with a truck.
Well, they have,
truck, so.
the conservation district has vehicles.
that's what, yeah, they just need to know if they need to prepare for it, but I know they could, I mean, with a truck, with a cab on it or whatever, you can lean those down
Yeah.
even if they're containerized, so
Yeah,
in the
okay.
back.
Okay.
So anyway, if we're doing it in October, we're not as much under the gun, so
Right.
we have a little bit of time, so
Right.
if you wanna like look into transportation. And I could do it with the city too, we don't have a truck for our department, but
Right.
I could figure it out.
But you should.
We definitely should.
Yeah.
As you know, I've moaned about, look into, okay,
Okay.
so everyone will do that. They're doing the site visit, water tank. I have to get the key to the park. I'm just gonna try to arrange it so we can have full access.
Okay.
Public Works has been in the loop, so they're aware, they want a map, so this is the point at which we're trying to
Okay.
arrange this. So I'm really happy we have extra time. Have I said that yet?
I'm happy with
Um,
it.
I have to change,
Question.
yes. Yes,
I remember Park and Rec was saying that they were going to put volleyball courts or pickleball court or something over there in the far corner of that park.
you're right here, yep.
Do you know when they're doing that?
No, but I can ask about that. That's a good point.
Because we could probably piggyback on communication with Parks and Rec and, introduce, whether it's a year from now or whatever, but introduce the food forest along with the new, the new courts or whatever they're putting over there.
Yeah, and that's a great point too, because I don't know what the community makeup is here, but I know with zoning, we've been having a lot of complaints being called about people playing volleyball. And it's like the Ecuadorian community wants to play volleyball and like there's not great spaces with zoning for it. I don't know if it would work at the park because it's hard to do like the parties with all that stuff, but just having it available. So that'd be great to have something and we could maybe do a volleyball tournament or something like that. That could be really fun. So, something else, that's a great reason to tie in volleyball to that, because we've been pushing to do volleyball here, because they were like, we can do pickleball, and we're like, how do we do volleyball? We need a volleyball place
Yeah.
for
I
people
saw
to
a
go.
long time ago some guys playing volleyball exactly in that area.
Yeah, you're right,
Yes,
that was a
that area.
volleyball court, and then they took it down. So, but maybe they were just starting to have, I don't know.
Do you know what else you can plant? Chamomile.
Yeah,
Okay.
Chamomile is very good too, and it could die and grow up again.
I mean, it
Chamomile
seeds
is
itself,
more
right? It's not really a
natural.
perennial, is it?
is it? I don't know.
I think chamomile does come back because there's so many seeds. Do you know what I mean? I think it's,
Well, it sounds like maybe we can get them to design a perennial herb garden and just have that be. a
that,
component.
I
No,
think,
it
I mean, that
just
was the
keeps
other
coming
thing
and
is
growing.
I'm wondering about the
Oregano was something
amaranth, the
people
cowleaf.
use.
Yeah.
Because that seeds itself, but it seeds itself because there's a billion seeds, like
Right.
all that.
So it does
amaranth is- yeah.
need some.
But I mean, it's a green that I think is well liked.
Well, I have to say, they probably don't want any kind of
Tilling,
tilling or
yeah.
like,
Well, I don't think it doesn't need to be tilled.
it'll just come up
It will
in the,
just- Yeah,
okay.
I mean, it might change its location slightly every.
But if you're mowing around the
Right.
edge, that's all great. And I had Kyle Lou on the minutes. I was talking about that specifically, so we'll have to revisit. I think it seems like, and maybe they'll change, maybe if we come up with an idea with like the herb garden and go with it, we could do it for this year, but otherwise that can just be like, we can do it next year, focus, get all the big plants in and then just focus on the little stuff. Yeah. Let's see, change notice to reflect new dates, right? So I have to do all that work. What I'll do is I'll circulate it. I just have to rewrite the notice again or the letter to talk about the new date, what's going to be there, all this stuff. So I'm going to have to significantly rewrite it. So Dan, I'll send it back to you for another, because you got it back like,
Yeah, well, it's from Sunwalk.
he just was like, boom, and did it. So that'd be great to do it fast. Which reminds me, so when do we want to mail these? If we're not gonna, do we want to wait till the September meeting?
What day?
Could be 2 weeks before, isn't it? I mean, you
Yeah,
don't want
that's a
too
good
early.
point.
because-
No.
It's like not too early, but not too late.
Well,
Right.
I'm
Give me a
thinking is,
date.
okay, you're not gonna like me, but should we do 2 months? Should we get it on people's radar and
And then
then,
the follow-up, that's a good
and then
idea.
follow up?
I'll ask if we
Oh,
have
yeah,
enough
I'm
money.
kind of going by how I did, how I had to do press releases, but I found that, if you send a press release too late, it doesn't get in. If you send it too early, they forget about it and you need.
That's what I'm trying to find. Oh, so you're
You
saying,
just need 2. So
The newspaper.
you like
releases,
do, I can't remember what
Yeah.
it is, if it's
That's different than the letter.
Yeah.
6 weeks prior and then and then again in 3 weeks prior or 2 weeks prior.
Yeah, they're saying that they have to have a 3-week window in between both of your.
I mean, I don't
I know, at
know,
least it's political.
but, yeah, I don't know, but I just think, I'm wondering whether you want to let people know what's happening and then the other thing is, well, maybe because the city of Torrington, maybe, maybe they'll open it up. But I know, like, I mean, how many pieces of mail do you get that say current resident that you, yeah.
And I say,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
City of Torrington, you might get
Right, the
someone,
city of Torrington people might open.
but I know. Yeah, so
So
if I have
it's
2
two.
dates, but if I can't get the like, it may be above our budget
Okay.
for mailings. We mail a
Yeah.
lot of stuff out of our office.
Yeah.
If not, so maybe you can give me a 2 notice one and a 1 notice one, and if I get approval to do the 2 notices, we'll do 2. If not, I'll just do 1, split the difference, like,
Yeah.
If that's the only one.
if it's just
you wanna do
one,
one and
get there for 2
or-
weeks. So 3 weeks so that it gets there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Otherwise, out of sight, out of mind, it's just,
Right, it can't, yeah,
Either 3 weeks in advance or 6 and 3,
that's what I would think.
right? And that, we'd have enough time for
I mean, I'm
6.
just trying to think how, my
You do
schedule,
postcard.
my schedule gets, yeah, it could be postcard.
For the
My-
first one.
For the first one or the second one?
First one.
Okay. My schedule gets
Save the date.
booked about a month in advance. I don't know about other people.
But we don't have postcards.
To answer from the
then,
mail,
So,
the people to answer. from
They
the
don't
mail.
have to, they don't have to RSVP, we just want,
And I read,
Yeah.
but
but we just want people to be able to, like, what's the right amount of time?
Yeah,
How long
because
do
I
you
was-
need notice when you, if you're gonna, if somebody tells you an event is happening, how much notice do you need to be able to put it on your calendar?
On time, like maybe, oh my God, unless maybe 2 weeks before,
Okay, 2 weeks
like
is like.
2
a
weeks
good one?
before.
Okay.
1 week is too close.
Yeah.
Too close.
Right.
So I
And then
think
more than that, it gets forgotten. It
Right,
like,
that's the
like
whole
2
thing. So,
weeks
okay, so if you
and
send it out at 3 weeks,
But
then
who has family and kids,
that's
at
different.
least 3 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Right.
they're thinking, they
Right,
already.
you have all the kids'
Yes,
events.
my sister-in-law has kids, my brother, and they have in a full calendar, everything already. So if something is coming, they need, she always say, I need to know on time, like 2 to 3 weeks before, because she's already with
Mhm.
things for the kids.
So maybe it goes out a month.
Personal,
I mean, it's
all
such a
the-
hard
all
thing.
3 plus
You would do
the-
3.
I think 3 would work
weeks.
because it could get out in just a couple days.
Yeah.
Then it's 2.5 weeks, which is like, you know.
Okay.
And
All
I
right, 3
was,
weeks is good. Sends out 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
All right.
thinking and
We've
something
made
here,
our decision.
where you say, I just was thinking about, it, you say, when people, maybe they just put on the side,
Yeah,
they don't.
yeah, don't open it.
So I was just thinking, like, trying to pay their attentions, like, on purpose, something in the envelope, like, in red, maybe event, like,
Oh,
oh, what
little
is this?
stamp?
Yeah, like
Little
an
event
event. I
stamp?
was thinking in
What
red,
Yeah.
a red stamp, and with the big
Says
letters,
event.
like, oh, this is something, because when I see envelopes with something in red, I say, oh, this is something. This is.
But it's
this
gotta
is
be on
very-
Facebook too. And I don't know.
Right,
if
is it the
anybody's
taxes or am I in trouble? That's how,
Right.
all my letters, people are in
Right.
trouble, so,
They can think too many
Something
things.
like
It's a red-
community
It's something,
I could
event.
go, oh, community event?
yeah. I wonder,
Event stamp.
they may, someone may have that in City Hall, like economic development may have something, or, I know Rista probably had something like
Okay.
that, but, it's a good, I like it, I like that idea.
Yeah.
Or you know what I can do, actually,
Yeah, I can get, I
Right.
Stamp made of
is good stamp,
staples.
yeah.
and we can use it for other events too, right?
I mean,
Let's
I would,
say community event,
Mhm.
I don't know.
that'd be easy. I also could probably, if I seal it, I could probably
maybe
print
not
it.
Community,
You can print
maybe
them?
something else like, I know, event definitely, event. But something like, because right now people doesn't want to spend money, they want something like, if it's free, they will be happy, you
Yeah,
know?
free event.
Free
But,
event.
or free event,
Yeah, free event.
mm, I'm still thinking about it.
Or invitation or something like that, or,
No, no invitation.
Yeah, that's kinda-
They're gonna say, no, I don't want, I'm busy. No invitation, no
Exciting
invitation.
event.
But I know event is gonna be.
Maybe just
better.
event.
yeah.
Maybe just
Yeah.
event.
It would,
Yeah,
it would at
just-
least get people
yeah,
curious.
Leave them like in suspense, just
Yeah.
event.
Event.
Yeah.
I would be curious if it,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
all right. I like that.
They're not thinking too many things like, oh, what is this?
Event
Event
and
and red,
exclamation
what is this? Something from the city that arrived to you,
Yeah.
why? Or
Mhm.
honey? And she said, what
Come
is
to
that?
our event.
Okay, let's
No,
go.
no. Let's keep it.
Just event.
Yeah.
I like it.
that. Yeah.
And it'll be,
event.
and to stamp it on
Boom,
there.
yeah.
Yes,
Event,
right.
event like a. Okay.
Here's a sneak peek. Sneak peek.
Are you-
event.
would you be able to
Open
order
the
that?
target.
Yeah, I mean. I
You
bet
don't have
can even
to, I
get
mean-
one online that says exactly that.
Yeah. it's basically-
Our purchasing is so
And put it like,
convoluted.
like this, not exactly like correctly, like just like,
Sideways.
there's something happening here.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. No, I
something
like,
that.
now they do that on your bills and stuff, right? They say like open a meet, it's like the fake
Oh, yeah.
stuff that they
Yeah.
print, you know?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
And
a real
they're
stamp.
gonna say it's a fake because this is, like you say, this is city of Torrance. Yeah, it's gonna be a fake. They're gonna say something there. I have to open it.
Custom rubber.
I could do certified, I can make them all
Right.
certified. That's how I really let people know.
You're
Okay,
gonna do Facebook too, right?
yes, so I will
Okay.
do all the Facebook stuff. The Conservation District is making the flyers, so they're gonna have like a flyer that has,
So they must have followers as well.
Yeah, yeah.
right, and we'll share it with,
Do a flyer
yeah,
to put it in the
At
window
Seoul?
of Seoul restaurant.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Do, let's see.
Yeah, what
Odessa,
other places should we?
And
put
I'm
them?
gonna do in Cajun, so I need two, one to Cajun boil outside.
Oh, Cajun
And
boil.
so,
Okay,
and I'm gonna take a picture to my Facebook too. I don't have a lot of
Okay,
people in my Facebook, but, so if it's 10, they will share to more people, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Did you see Torrington's, one with the, what they're doing with our 3 industrial sites here is they Eleanor hired a new, help me.
Economic Development
Yeah.
Director.
Did you see that they're having like this whole?
Yeah, it's the end
Open
of this
forum
week.
on it?
Yeah, yeah.
What's happening this week?
They're,
It's an open house for the new economic development director taking place at Rista. He is from DECD originally, so the Department of Economic Development, state level. And so he's doing he wants to just get all the projects out and talk about all the.
Well, he's gonna say what's gonna go with
What's,
the
where did
Torrington
Rista
company.
go? She gone?
She went to the COG.
Oh,
She's like
I
their,
think I knew that.
yeah,
Okay, I knew that.
she's like their second in charge at the COG.
Oh,
Yeah, all the industrial sites, the 3 industrial sites they're working on, they're going, hopefully, I'd like to find out what they're doing, gonna be doing with it.
yeah.
The Torrington company,
Right.
So what date is that? I'd like to
I'll
know
tell you
that
right
too.
now, it's
Yeah, tell me right now,
29th.
because if I don't know right now, it's gonna be
It's
out of my head.
Thursday,
by
it's the
time-
29th, and it's in
29th?
council chambers, I think.
economic
It's over here?
development.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's gonna be 140, it's right here,
Okay,
Room 218.
at
Yeah,
what time, 7?
5:30
5, oh,
on the 29th.
5:30, okay.
So what I'll do, because I'll handle the Facebook for the town and kind of
Mhm.
our channels, I'll do the press release, but I'll circulate all that stuff to the group
We should.
first,
we
and so
should
give me
post
plenty
on-
of time to
if we're on- If
review.
anybody's on Torrington Chatter or the Real Torrington, Connecticut, or any of those, and it shouldn't just be one of us, we should just all, if we're on them, we should just post them. I don't really tend to get much from that,
Yeah,
but might as well. I
Yeah.
mean,
I know. I don't like going near them because they're usually talking about us, so.
Yeah, yeah, you don't post there.
We can't post there. So Barbara, do you want me to send stuff? Do you want me to send stuff to your email? Do you want to be a part of this communication, or are you okay?
Yes,
You'd like to?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
All right. What's
Let's
a,
do-
yeah, what can I send it to?
My email is Boy,
Mhm.
I, Boy,
Mhm.
I, S, number 10, at, ymail.com.
Mhm. Great. All right. So I'll just put you in this where I'm sending it to everyone, and that way you can look at the,
The project, how is.
yep, and we'll have the
That's what I
Spanish
mean.
language stuff in there too, and just feel
Yeah.
free to let
Yes,
us
because
know.
I would like to talk with the people I know too, if
Mhm.
they are interested.
That's what I
Yeah,
mean. You
that's
should be
why-
able to send it and then you can just post
Sure.
it and do what you
And
want.
also, so it's until you decide, guys, if you want me to have a picture about the project or after is the project
Mhm.
work, because I know this is new
Mhm.
and you're planning to do this project, right? To plan to do food, like for the place to the community. But is this is just inside or we can
She's asking if
talk
it's
with the.
confidential. Is it confidential?
No, yeah,
Let people know.
Okay.
yeah,
Let
yeah.
people know.
We're just trying to get it all
So because
nailed
that can
down. but-
motivate to them, like, okay, so.
And
it's
we have
gonna
it,
be good
and we have a
because
date
it's
already, so.
organic. They're gonna come, if they have babies or kids,
Mhm.
they wanna show to the kids how to do this.
Yeah,
and They want,
Yeah.
things like that. And I know there are people who comes to the playground there.
that's what I
I
mean. It's
think
great.
about
I would love it if my
that sometimes,
kids, I would pick fruit if it
Yeah.
was ready.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's all great. So I just have a lot of stuff I have to circulate to all of you, like a lot of the different updates to the notices and or the home notices, because that's the violations I sent.
There
But
is
the
an
nice letters.
agricultural, arborist up at the Northwest Community College. I don't know if you want to invite something like that, somebody like that.
Yeah.
I actually think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
To get people and, just to have an arborist to talk to people, or is this person for hire? Like people who might be interested in their own orchards or fruit trees or whatever, and not need to, have them cared for
And what are they
properly.
from? This individual?
Who's
this person?
coming in?
No,
With
Northwest
us?
Community College,
Yeah.
and he's an instructor up there. I don't know his
Okay.
name.
All right, well, I can look them up and yeah, I'll invite, I mean, and what we'll do is I'll send you all this stuff and then I'll send you, when it's all finalized, I'll send it to you and just have you guys spread it around,
I have an
and I'll-
idea. too.
Yeah,
I have an idea. I'm not sure, I know, well, I really don't, I know, and I don't know too much about him. The guy who has the office front of City Hall, and UPS office
mhm.
in the bottom,
Mhm,
there is
yeah.
the office.
Okay.
Mark, his name is Mark. I think he told me he works with a program where I think they do something with the schools. I'm not sure which school, the
Okay,
high school or middle school, to help to the kids to find out for a job.
okay.
But I was thinking something like, and how about if to find a way like to tell to the families or to the teachers to tell to the kids if they would like to participate as voluntary, if they want, if they
Oh,
would like,
so
we
for-
don't want to
so-
push them. We
Right,
would like
it's
if they
the,
would like to participate. In
So
doing-
he has connections in the community, so we could get the word out if they want, if the kids who are in that program want to volunteer.
Yes, to
Okay.
see if they would like to participate in this, and that would be nice for them.
Do you know his information or it's just the office
I
below
just
the?
know,
I
I
can-
just know his office is there, his name is Mark.
Okay. Well, no, that's, I mean,
This is one of our customers from Sora. I know, he know me, I know him.
you know everyone
I know
from,
his name is Mark, that's what I know. I don't know if he was he's the prince, I think he's to the front desk. But my daughter, well, she's now 22, but when she was maybe 15, 14 or 15 or 16, she went to exactly that
Oh, she
over
did the
there in the
program.
office, in the
Yeah.
program where they help to the kids in that age, around that age, to find out, to do some hours of work,
Is
like
that through
maybe
the
10
Department of
hours.
Labor? Is it a
15.
Department of Labor program?
I'm not sure if it's that, well, used to be Kelly's apartment, but it was
Oh,
I was outside in the corner, but
Okay,
it's not that one. It's,
Okay.
there's a program. I don't know what is the connection with the school,
okay,
but I remember teachers explain to, like the kids to tell to fathers like they would like to participate,
yeah.
or they talk with parents
So it's like
about it.
job training and placement?
Something, maybe say yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
But
yeah,
if
I
they
think-
would like to do
yeah.
something, like they can
Yeah, volunteer,
participate.
yeah,
Yes, something different to their life,
yeah.
and it's something like they will maybe enjoy, and,
Mhm.
and they're helping at the
I
same
wonder
time.
if they could get community service hours for school, if it would count
I'm
for
sure.
community service hours. I
I think
mean,
if
all you
they're
have to
helping,
please
right?
sign something
right.
and they have it. So,
And that reminded me too, we've been talking to their conservation club that does like this kind of
Right.
stuff to the school and I'll send them something as well.
Okay.
We kind of fell off with them.
Okay,
It's funny, it's on our Sierra Club agenda, specifically what you're doing.
Oh,
really?
cool.
Yeah, we asked all the legislators, we interview all the legislators who want the backing of the Sierra Club. And that was one of the questions on our questionnaire. Yeah.
Well, how did it go? How was it worded?
We got, we backed 61 legislators. And all 61 are Dems. We didn't get any Republicans to fill it out.
Uh-huh,
Not being critical of Republican, I'm just saying that it was, so yeah, so we backed 61. We give them the whole little thing for they go online and Facebook and so, yeah, so, and that was one of the questions. And of course, same thing with vegetation. As we're talking about the vegetation, we want everybody to put up in front of their storefronts when they build
Oh,
or whatever.
Yeah,
Native-
landscaping
yeah,
regulation,
native-
yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's all great. So I think I have a good idea of everything. I had two more points. First one, Right Way Signs is gonna donate signs for the event too, like the little yard signs.
Oh,
So we'll put them up
fantastic. Okay.
in the neighborhood, Spanish and English. So that people, I think it's easier, the people who go to the park regularly are gonna be the people we want the most.
right.
So having them right at the park saying, it's gonna be this date, and then have it maybe in different places.
Mhm.
So they're gonna donate them. That'll be great. This will give me more time to get that all
is
set up.
there any information, like, has anybody found anything like that's really good online about food forests? Like, could there be a QR code on the sign that
I
people,
put one
if they don't know
on-
what they.
I put one on, I did look this up for the note, for the mailer.
Yeah.
And the QR code, it's hard to get QR codes, they expire really quickly
Oh, I didn't realize
if you
that.
don't get a paid one.
Okay, okay.
So mine already expired, so I like took it off, because I'm like, this is gonna, I don't know when this is gonna
Okay, so
expire.
you could put a web page, you could put a web,
City of Austin in Texas has a really good one, obviously, it seems like an Austin
Yeah.
thing. But it's a very short link, and I put it, like something that you could
Perfect.
easily type, so I
Okay,
put that
perfect.
in the mailing already.
okay.
Because
good.
yeah, I was just like, what is that?
Can
Like
you
how
put
do
it on the
people-
sign as well?
Yes,
Yeah, I think that should go on the sign.
just so people can kind of see what the
Right,
idea
because
is.
like food forest.
So we will receive free the signs, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, enough. or extra.
Yeah, how
Maybe
many,
I
how
can-
many will they give us?
I think he seems pretty open to whatever number they're gonna put right way on them,
Yep.
like,
Yeah, they should.
which is fine.
That's what he
Did you,
Yeah,
did you notice they did it
yeah.
on the sign in downtown? Like the one going, you know, the big new sign that's on
Oh,
the
yeah.
building when you're going into downtown, like from Seoul, if you're going up
Mhm.
Main Street? On the new buildings that are getting renovated on the corner there, there's the bakery and the rolled ice cream place,
Oh,
that
yeah.
building.
Okay.
There's a new banner that's huge.
Right by the old power.
You very-
Yeah, it wasn't a Howard's advertisement, it was a Bender
Okay.
advertisement
okay.
there. But like they put it in there, but Right Way is like,
Like
they
on there?
printed it for
Oh,
free, so.
okay.
But anyway,
Did you have an idea where a sign could go?
Well, I was thinking some like, maybe if it's not too bigger, something like this,
yeah, that's what
I
we're,
can, over Main Street, there are like 2 Spanish stores
Mhm.
where people go and come, they go and come. So
Right.
I can ask to the owners store, if they don't mind, I can put it in the window, I can explain them. I'm
That'd be
gonna explain
wonderful.
them, and if it's gonna be in English and Spanish,
Yeah.
they will understand. And I can check with the other store.
That'd be great.
There are 3
Is that the,
stores
is that the
here,
one,
3.
that's the one, I think it's like the Latino Mart, that's the one that's on Main Street, North
Over
Main Street?
There are 2.
There's the one right
Yeah.
next to the river that's kind of like,
That's one.
that's one, and then the
That
other one is,
and After that, after the laundry, next
Yeah.
to the laundry is another one, like 2 more.
next to the bar,
places
next to the
is another
barber.
one. Yes,
Yeah,
it's before or next to the barber.
right.
And there is one more, you know, the plaza, where is TJ Maxx, plaza,
Yes,
at the end. on the
right,
back,
in the
On
corner.
the side of the
Mhm.
dentist office.
Yeah.
There is one more,
Yes,
so there are 3, there are 3.
that'd be great if we could
And
get,
also over Main Street near to Anthony's Pizza, there is a smaller restaurant next Anthony's Pizza,
Really?
UPS, and a restaurant.
Yes.
It's like
Okay,
a deli, it's like a deli.
yeah,
The owner is Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rico,
I
okay,
think
yeah.
Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
And he's a nice guy, very nice. And, so we can put one over there too.
Yeah.
yeah, that'd be great.
More often. I don't even know about all these
It's a lot
places.
of-
Yeah.
there are a lot of people
He's got a
opening
UPS
it.
I've
store
been
there
to the
too.
vegan place. I gotta go there one of these days.
They do very good Cuban sandwich, yeah.
Non-vegan
They do
place.
very good.
Oh, this is at Puerto Rican?
I think it's Puerto Rican. His
I mean,
name
it's
is
called, I think
Chano.
it's called like Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
yeah,
from
yeah,
Puerto
okay.
Rico.
I know they have good flan. They have good
They do
flan.
very good food too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, all that's all perfect. And we'll just make sure to get the signs, and we'll have another meeting before this too, which is good. Because if we can just
Yeah.
post it, we have a little bit more time.
Yeah, I'm gonna explain them, this is for the community.
And it's close to
and
those
I'm-
places,
Yes.
right? Because it's right across, like right
Right,
near
it's
Price
on the-
Right.
Yeah, it's on my way, so I can stop by, time, you know, I'm off, sometimes on Thursday, so I can stop by,
Okay.
talk with them,
Okay.
and if they don't mind, I would like a good place, area where I can put it, and from outside of the window or inside, close to where everybody get, maybe they have a small area of fruits and where are avocados and everything,
No, those
so I
are-
can put it just in the middle of the.
Yeah.
That's perfect, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they go over
Thematic.
directly to everything, to the avocados. I love the
Yep.
avocados.
Yep.
A big ones, very
Yeah.
nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
so do you want Nate's email address so that if they give you permission, you know how many?
Like 3 for the moment.
3?
You think
Okay.
Yeah, 3 for the moment to
Okay.
do.
I'm gonna try to get as many as.
Okay,
I
great.
was gonna try to maybe
Yeah,
do like
just-
10 or something. and
okay.
then we
Do
can put
more,
them-
do more.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
we never know, we will need maybe more, but
Okay.
At the very least, we
I
can
want to
put
start
them-
with 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And then the last piece, which I know we've talked about this a lot, but
That's
this
okay.
is really
That's
good.
fine.
We needed to. What are we gonna call this? We have a name for this?
Or
Well,
name
the
to this
event or
project.
the-
Yeah, we need a name for the project.
Because the food forest thing is kind of just an idea that's
Right.
a little, I don't know, it doesn't really say what it is very
No.
well. I had some ideas. I was thinking something like, I don't know, like neighborhood, like orchard planting or something. I don't know. I can't.
I would like something like to connect with, between American and Latin.
Okay.
Something connect to them, like feel like we are in all this together,
Mhm.
Do you have an idea?
you know?
I loved it. I love the
No,
idea.
I would like something like that, you know, like
Yeah, yeah.
connect for because, sometimes, I know, Latinos,
Connect,
most the
Food Connect.
Latinos.
Foods connect communities.
Connection.
Yeah,
The food connection.
food connection, yeah.
Yeah, very easy, yes.
So I,
Food
I-
connection.
when I was looking up
Connections for food.
Or
stamps for
fruit.
event, that there's a special event stamp, do you like that? Or you want it to just say event?
No,
I think
special
just
event looks
event.
nice.
Special event.
Special event?
Perfect, yeah,
We're just,
take it right out.
what do you think, Nate?
Am I gonna be the
I think just event. I just think
Event?
event. Special
Yeah, I
event.
think just
because-
event because-
Plus, that looks like,
Yes,
that looks too commercial.
yes,
Yeah.
All right.
just event because when they say
All right,
it's
then I'll have it
special,
made,
they say, oh, more advertisements or something they
Yeah,
want
it
me
looks
to
like
Oh,
say.
something. That's what I'm saying. It
Oh,
looks like
oh,
that.
right,
People
right.
already use it all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Stan.
yeah. Okay. I see
So
what
just,
you're
Yeah,
just
just
some, just
All right.
like,
I like the idea of it
You
just
know,
being curious, like you don't know
where
what
it's
it
just
is.
custom and it's just the event, the letters themselves are, we get it's just a stamp. So it doesn't have to
Oh,
be, we
yeah.
get a red pad.
Yes, I'm
So
sorry.
it just says event.
Yeah, just like, if you find a sign, I'm sorry, stand like, just because, I know it was with the cover with the under,
Yeah, it
background
was
with
white,
color.
yeah.
No background, just the letters, just like.
Just the letters, just the-
Yeah, just the letters in red,
All in-
like,
and you think
event.
all in,
But the-
exclamation point?
No, just
even-
like that,
all right.
but with the,
Event.
letters like a little more thick.
Yeah,
Not too
bold.
tiny.
Bold capital
All right,
letters,
Like,
event.
something
Okay.
like that.
Sure, a bold 14 font.
Yeah. And then,
Okay.
yeah, and they were saying, what is this? What is event? For
So
what?
it's a food
Event for
connection or food connections?
Or fruit connection.
Fruit connection?
Food connection.
Oh, it sounds funny, the word.
I'm gonna
fruit
take a picture of
connection.
have you been to
cute.
Holcomb Farm in Granby?
I've been
Yes.
past it.
Well, actually, I did it for work, so I didn't actually see it. I was like.
So
in
I'm part of the
room.
CSA there. I've been doing that for close to 20 years. And they have an herb garden for they have the stuff you get from their farm fields that goes into the barn that you pick for your CSA. But then if you're willing to pick stuff on your own, you double or triple the amount of your load. It's like kind of amazing. But they also have this huge perennial herb garden that you just take whatever you want for the week. And it's fantastic. But I mean, if that's something that's I never thought about that before. I've always been thinking about food,
Mhm.
like vegetables and fruits and whatever, but I'll take a picture of what their herb garden
That's
is
awesome.
because
Yeah,
that is definitely
and maybe they have maybe we could even just take,
different.
take what they used,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
use their model of,
Yeah.
of how,
Yeah,
which it's all
exactly.
perennial anyway.
And they actually do a bunch of, so like, cilantros are used for salsas and stuff, but cilantro is an early spring
Mhm.
plant and the tomatoes, like by the time the
Right, they're changing them out. They're not all
right.
perennial.
Right, so, no, most of them are perennial, but but one of the complaints was like cilantro's not there anymore once we have our tomatoes and the onions and peppers,
You can't
right?
have a
They're like,
salsa.
right, so the fresh, so they started planting like this stuff called papalo, which is a later season Mexican herb that you can use
Similar
it's
to
similar.
cilantro.
Papalo?
Papa? I never hear about it. before.
No?
No.
I'll write it down, you look it up.
Oh, okay.
Papalo. But it's
Yeah.
Mexican, so it might not be
Papalo?
papalo. Maybe it's papalo. I don't know.
Is it fruit? Is it
No,
vegetable?
no, it's an herb.
Is it
I
herb?
It's an herb.
Good character.
These are
So. let me
like
see.
cilantro. All right.
Yeah,
There are more, I knew it's more than one kind of cilantro.
yeah.
In the house where I rent, they have, I am from Mexico, so that's why I was.
Oh, so you,
For papalo,
oh,
I didn't
okay.
hear it before. But, cilantro and cilantro macho, I don't know, it's different. I don't know how to explain that. It's two kinds of cilantros, more than two kinds of cilantros.
I'm sure that
There's a regular cilantro for guacamole, and they use a different cilantro to cook with beans.
Oh,
But it's not
really?
the same
Oh,
cilantro.
interesting.
Well, that's a secret where I work.
Yeah.
The cilantro they use.
I know.
That's not to be
It's a-
distributed.
This cilantro is different to the regular cilantro because it's more tiny, it's like
Oh,
more,
interesting.
it's
Like,
more, it's more tiny, it's not too big. The regular cilantro is a little more big the.
So the
leaves.
leaves, it's sort of like
The
the
leaves.
different leaves with parsley.
Different
Like
leaves.
it's, yeah,
the
okay.
style of the leaves.
Okay.
The regular is cilantro, cilantro.
They also have, shishito mint, like the mints that are used in, summer rolls and stuff like that in
Mm.
Asian cooking. They just have a really very broad herb garden. So I'll take a picture, see what they, show you what they do.
Well, we can even ask people at the event
What they'd
what they
like.
would like to
yeah.
see that we may be able to incorporate in the
Yeah,
future, you
yeah.
know?
I
That'd
think
be
that's
kind
a
of a
great
fun thing
idea.
to have people.
Yeah.
If
We
it's something
might have
everyone can
people
do
other than
together.
Latino, other,
Right.
you know.
Right, that's right. We don't have to
Or
decide
something, you
everything.
know? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like that idea of having
Me
it,
too.
like, we can even have it as a
could have
table,
a
just like a
survey.
bunch of stuff and,
Yeah.
yeah. That's all I had.
Okay. All right. So now we go to the Lover's Lane Solar Development.
So this is a proposal to the Connecticut Siting Council. And Aaron, are you still there?
I am, but wheels are starting to fall off the bus over here.
Yeah, not long for this world. All right, well, I'll share it all anyway, so you can pop off whenever you need to. But so this is a solar project. It's for those of you that don't know, solar approvals of a certain size are not done by the city. They go to the Connecticut Siting Council because there was too much.
Not in my backyard.
Right, people just didn't want them, so they were just denying them everywhere. So the latest one to be submitted is Lover's Lane. This is Lover's Lane here, and it's these two properties here. This one and this one. They're gonna do,
Is that all wetlands?
that's all wetlands. They're gonna do 13 acres of panels in this whole area here. This is Major Bessie Park here.
Yeah.
So there's actually, as a part of that whole agreement, there was an easement that used to go through here that didn't really work logistically anyway. And they redesignated the easement to here. So there's a potential new trail access that might go in the back, which would be cool.
Is that Hayfield?
That's Hayfield. It's a north facing Hayfield, which is strange, but they're
Interesting.
gonna be cutting all the way back to here. So it'll open it up.
So I have a question about that. Was there a new or a recent, maybe Hayfields don't count, but was there recent, regulations or a law that said you could not do this on farmland?
So it's not prime.
Ah, okay.
It's,
Because it's
it's,
a north
it's
facing Hayfield.
and it's margin, the soils are marginal too. So it's not great farmland to start with.
Gotcha.
So this has already gone through siting council. As
Okay.
we speak, there's a meeting here at the condos. We're
Okay.
very upset about this right now.
Um,
And so that's all gonna play out to the siting council.
Okay,
But the Conservation Commission has an opportunity to comment on this development. They may or may not listen to anything we have to say, but that's our input is
do
to.
we have any, other information?
That's funny
on
that you say that.
There we go.
So this is
Okay.
their submitted plans to the siting council, and I'll share this with everyone.
Do you know what the condo association's concerns are?
I believe that they're the same concerns of everyone
So
not
it's just
wanting
like it's
solar
gonna be
panels.
Ugly to look at.
And it'll hurt the animals and,
Okay.
I mean, there are, obviously,
Right.
there are gonna be impacts and,
Right,
but we don't have a lot of control over it anyway,
Right.
like they're a landowner like anyone else. And
Right.
if it was a housing development,
it would just. go
they'd be
ahead.
permitted to do it too. So this is what it looks like now. You can see all the wetland flags here. So to clarify, it won't go through wetlands for approval. Deep, the Department of
Is it gonna
Environmental
go on top of
Conservation.
it If they wanted to go on top of the wetland?
No,
I think
they
that's
are,
fine.
and Deep does hold, they're not gonna allow you to fill wetlands for this. Deep isn't, unless, for the same reasons that the Wetlands Commission might allow if there was a crossing or something like that. So here, that's like the existing conditions. This is what it's gonna look like.
Well, it seems to be a buffer.
So you can see that there's at least 50 feet away from all wetland areas. We had our city engineer look at this. There is, this is their stormwater plan. Essentially, everything's gonna be graded toward these pond here and a pond here.
Mhm.
They'll have a riprap outlet with a level spreader out into the wetland here and here. So this doesn't even discharging into the buffer. This is kind of going right into the adjacent area to the wetland, but that's an overflow for the basin. So all that water is gonna go and then this way.
So wait, one side has a bit of a holding pond and the other is just straight in?
No, they,
Or they
it's
both
not
do?
so much a holding pond. It's, see here, there's this like, this is the buffer, this is the wetlands, this is the 50-foot, this is the
Yeah.
100-foot buffer. It discharges kind of in this upper area and it'll, it'll discharge here, but it has further to go to hit the wetlands than this one. That's all
Okay,
I'm saying.
just
This is
what What is
closer.
this thing? What is this? What is that?
That's the basin.
That's, it. So it does have a
Yes.
basin, okay.
So it'll mow a grass line
Okay,
basin with
okay.
conservation there.
So it's a gentle depression.
Yes.
Okay,
And there's capacity, this is an overflow.
got it.
So most
So, okay.
storms should be attenuated on site, but in the case of the overflow,
Got it.
it'll pass there.
So they do
And
have
then
to, okay.
The condo association, then there's this big wetland divide. They have to run utilities through this part of the property on the other side, which is accessed through the condo association. So if you can think about it, the condos are off Lovers Lane up here.
Yep.
And then they have a road that comes through that they have an access agreement onto this part of the property. Because this is
Okay.
all wetlands and they can't get through. It's kind of a deep ravine.
Got it.
So they have to run the utilities through the wetlands here. That's like the
Okay.
major
What
impact.
utilities are they run?
That's gonna be the transformer for the
Just the above ground.
solar to move the energy from the solar field into the grid.
Okay, so it's just an above ground line.
I proposed underground electrical
Oh,
conduit
underground.
to be direct board
So they're gonna dig a hole
and
Conduit.
run conduit. And it's gonna be all below, I don't know, maybe above the,
Like, is it similar to when they go through and do that in a residential, or is it much bigger? Like, what is it? I guess it'd probably be a lot bigger.
they have the detail sheets here. So maybe they-
You know, when they do that in a development, it's just this big saw that, goes through and puts
Hey,
a-
Nate, can you share what you're looking at?
Absolutely, thank you.
Sorry.
No, you're reminding me, it's my fault. Let's see. All right, can you see that now? Aaron, can you see the plans now?
I can see that. Yes, thank you.
Okay. I have not seen detail on the
When do we have to-
conduit.
How will we have to comment on
It might be called out somewhere on the size of it.
it? Yeah.
That's, I'm looking at the detail sheet. Okay, that's the panel detail. Those are the seed mixes. That's silt fences and the access. That's the berm and that's the overflow weir. No,
How much time do we have to comment on this?
I'm not, they just submitted, so I think we have a little bit of time.
Okay, why don't we hold and send it to us? So we can take a look at it.
Yeah, I'll send it. I'm gonna share a link to you, but I am interested. The conduit size, just to know. I mean,
Yeah.
it's gotta be called out somewhere in here. I'm,
Yeah, they have to say how big they're.
at least the diameter pipe
Right.
that's
right.
running, that it's running in. Yeah, I'm not sure about that either, because see how these are the contours?
Yep.
See, it's running like this looks like it's probably more of a water course.
Yeah.
So are they gonna go under the water course there?
Huh.
I'm not quite sure how that's gonna work, but I
Oh.
mean, I'm sure they can do it. But anyway, that's the only direct wetland impact there. Our city engineer looked at it and he said the stormwater calculations look fine and that
Hmm,
it made sense for the site.
Okay.
But, he didn't really, he gave like 2 sentences, so he wasn't.
Yeah.
And again, we don't have a whole lot we can say on these kind of things. We can try to do a look at the
I mean, I think
ecological
it has to be
resources.
something obvious and Egregious, really.
Right. I mean, we can always point out like the wildlife concerns, but I don't, I mean,
Most of the endangered species. threats.
yeah,
I assume they've done the work. and
there was
that doesn't
no,
exist.
yeah, the only species of special concern is there's an NDBB record for the stream, not the stream on the property, but Lovers Lane Brook.
But That's across the road.
It's across the road. So unless, and all of this is being attenuated on,
And what
On
was
site
the-
or in the
what was
wetlands.
species?
they don't tell you what it
Okay,
is.
so-
Oh, so you don't go collect it.
The process of elimination, I used to work on these models too. I think it's wood turtle
Okay.
Probably, or something along
coming up
those
the
lines.
river.
Yeah.
Although I don't think it's, I don't know. It may be an old record, hard to say, but it's nothing that's gonna stop the project. I don't think it really impacts it. And so, yeah, so I'll circulate this to everyone so you can take a closer look at it. Maybe by the next meeting, if you can put together some comments for me and we can get those submitted. September something.
I forget
Uh,
that much.
yeah, end of September. Usually it's like the last week. My tablet died.
Oh, mine is the-
Oh, excuse me.
So I mean, I'll like I said,
This is
it'll be-
when our
I'll
next,
tell you
when
when
our
I
next
circulate
meeting
it.
is, when our next meeting
September 25th or something like
is. So
that.
it's gonna be the last Tuesday in September.
Yeah.
Wetlands is the second Tuesday and conservation is the last Tuesday
Yep.
or the fourth.
So anyway, yeah, if you can get, and if you have comments before then, just send them to me and I'll start to like aggregate them into a
Okay.
memo and we'll send it over off. I mean, it doesn't hurt to go on the record identifying what might be a problem or whatever. And
Yeah,
they
I
all
mean,
know it's like
it's-
deep
right,
scientists and stuff,
right.
but
But yeah,
maybe there's a maybe there's a small modification that can be done that can make it a better project for the environment that
Uh-huh.
doesn't really impact them
Uh-huh.
too much, where they would just do it.
Yeah.
I was trying to angle for getting this dedicated as conservation land, especially since it's adjacent to the city land.
yeah.
But, you know, a lot of people in the city don't want to take money off the tax rolls, which I understand, and it's all
Well,
wet, it's all
They
wetlands.
can't use it anyway.
So it's kind of,
So maybe you get a thing that. they can
and we
use
have
it.
this access for trail now,
Right.
we can go up here, so,
Right.
Are they planting a buffer around it of trees? What kind of trees are they?
it's just the 50-foot, they're just
They're
leaving.
just
a
leaving us there. I
Yeah,
think.
they're leaving a 50-foot wooded buffer because they're gonna cut into the existing wood line. Yeah, see how this is all woods here?
Yep.
You can see the existing wood line. They're cutting in, but they're gonna they might have had planting detail that's just general planting detail for trees that they just throw in all their projects. But they had seed detail, like for the Ernst mix,
Mhm.
which is, you know, a native basin mix. So yeah, I'll circulate that and just get those comments to me and I'll share the next date of the meeting with that, so you know when you can get them to me by, and I'll try to have a memo done for that meeting,
Okay.
or at least drafted, so I can get that out as soon as possible.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, from what I read on the last one, that the siting council does a good job, but it's important for us to be on the record in some way.
Yeah, the last project's finishing, the one in Litchfield's finishing up, and that one's huge.
Yeah.
And there's 2 environmental monitors. They have the conservation district monitors it, and then they have to hire an independent
Mhm.
firm to do it. So they were like, I went out with them and I was like, Torrin, I don't do this much as far as like you need filter sock here, even though you're in the far corner of the property in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Like they made sure everything
Yeah.
was on the plan, was there.
Yeah. I was kind of,
I was
when I was
impressed.
reading through all of it really wasn't all of the stuff, it was just too much stuff, but there was somebody who would basically put all of the salient points in a document and send it off to everybody, and that whoever was doing that, it was amazing information, and it looked like it was incredibly thorough, and that they had more power than we have. You know what I mean, like
Yeah.
for enforcement.
So, yep, that's that for
Okay.
that.
All right, so next we have the HVA crossing assessment overview and schedule visits.
We had our visit last week. We did 2 sites.
How did it go?
It's a fun thing to
Yeah,
do.
it is fun. So how many people came? I'm sorry, I couldn't come.
Okay.
Two, I forget.
It was Jeremy, George, you and me.
Okay,
So we were up in the north part of
Yeah,
town,
so-
way north. And we looked at this crossing here, which is,
Okay.
there's this big piece of woods here.
Yeah.
So Barbara, this is a project where we're looking at these like big forests and trying to
Mhm.
look at how animals are crossing over the roads and
Yeah.
maybe trying to help do things to help
in the future.
allow them to cross, but we're really just collecting information so that other groups can maybe, you know, so frogs don't get killed or bear or whatever is
Do you have
crossing
any
up
idea
there.
of the scope of the project? Do you have that amount? So
Uh,
she could see.
yeah, I can try that.
That was at the HVA, right,
Yeah.
site.
Yeah.
Follow the forest map. You better get it.
No, it's just-
I was trying to pull it up actually, and it was like not letting me do
Who's
it.
that one?
It was like,
The image. Oh, there we go.
it's essentially this. right?
This is the study they're doing?
This is Connecticut, this is all Connecticut, right?
Mhm.
And then these are all the little patches of forest, all the green things. And they're trying to connect everything from where we are so that like, you know,
Hey,
a bear could walk. Yes, you're right.
Sorry.
That where you
Don't
can
be
jam
sorry.
whatever-
Never be sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can. I know. I'm just, yeah, no, you're right. I should do it that way. I do it because usually in wetlands, I'm very sensitive about what I want to display and not display. So I have like a little, I try to retain control.
You're trying to put like a
So I know-
advice, advertisement like, for them?
No, so what it
Uh-huh.
is they're doing an analysis. So
Okay.
it's like a scientific analysis
Mhm.
of all of these forests and
Mhm.
which ones, if they get too fragmented, so,
Mhm.
or there's too much traffic, or they're too far apart, they're not very usable for the wildlife. The wildlife has to move, has to be able to move.
Yeah.
And that's from the
Oh,
big
yes.
stuff to the little stuff. They have to have ways
Yes.
of moving.
Yeah.
So there's a,
Mhm.
you know, a group
They are-
that is doing an
Mhm.
analysis for the entire, I mean, they're just doing Connecticut, but it's part of a project that's
Goes to Canada, New York to Canada.
New York to Canada. So yeah, show
Yeah.
that map there, this big thing.
Yes, I see it.
So
I
from
see it.
far
It's,
away, you can see that there's
Yeah.
possible movement, but when
So-
you get in closer, you
Yeah.
see how fragmented it
Yes,
is.
sorry, because
Yes.
what I see is the traffic. This is where the traffic go, right?
Y-
Right.
This
Yes,
area.
yes,
So
yep,
if animals cross, they're gonna be like stuck in this
yes,
area.
that's right.
So
Yeah,
you're trying just to see the way, like, they don't stay there.
yeah, you're trying to figure out like how dangerous is it for them to move?
Right. So we were looking at like when a bear has to go over a
Absolutely
guardrail.
dangerous. It's like dangerous.
How
And they're
dangerous
gonna
is it
be-
for them? What are the good crossings? What can we do? So if we get an analysis of all of that, then we can figure out.
So I think.
So this
just
is a big
advise
project.
And the way advice just like signs.
No, because there's, when development happens, there's ways for us to make things better, like to take certain things into account. Might just be small stuff.
And how about like a, right? How do you say?
Oh, the
Bridge.
bridges.
The
Yeah,
bridge.
that is one of the things
Like
that they'll,
bridges, like they can just go
Yeah.
from the.
yeah.
Or underneath.
Underneath.
Where the
Okay.
rivers cross.
If
Yeah.
they see something, and there are just the cars, maybe like bridge, and they just go.
That's exactly the type of stuff that we look for.
Yeah.
Like, is there a bridge where they
Like
can
that.
go under
And more
there?
than one, because one is not enough.
But then they also have like, one of the things that I never knew about that I thought was kind of amazing was like these little tunnels under railroad tracks for salamanders.
Oh,
Like
Little
things like
tiny
that, yeah, like
frogs
these
and-
tiny
They're not
little-
for salam.
Yeah, so like it goes from the tiny little creatures to the big creatures. And we're doing, show her what we're just doing Torrington.
So this red dot is Torrington.
That's
So
us.
these green splotches here, we're looking at
That's the one,
those.
so we're helping with the evaluation.
Just this little piece of the whole thing, just to see where the problems are, where we could do something to make it better. So it's fun. We go out there and we write down a bunch of
Yes.
notes and they give us little forms and.
Yes,
you know.
ideas comes when you see the area to figure out what to do.
Mhm.
But what was the bridge? The right, you know, like.
Oh, the bridge,
The
bridge,
bridge.
yeah,
thank you,
sorry.
The bridge. And, for tunnels. I don't know
Tunnels.
the sign.
Yeah, so they do like culvert saws, you know, oh.
Like a pipe where
Yeah,
it would
pipe.
be
Oh, you're doing
Yeah.
pipe
underneath.
for that?
Well, we're
They
not,
happen
but,
Because they just
Yeah,
happen
that would
naturally a lot of
work
times
too.
because of
Pipes work.
but they have,
drainage.
so we're
right?
basically telling them where they have to do that stuff.
Yeah.
We're
Oh,
going out there and say, oh, this would be good here, and then they can go get money and do it. This other group, it'd
Yeah,
be
it's
someone
like a-
else to
it's
do
a
that.
bigger group
So
that's
we're
doing
just-
that Whole big thing.
Yep.
It's kind of like a needs assessment to
Yep.
figure out what's needed and where.
So maybe the tunnels, huh?
But you can
Because
see how it gets very
So
fragmented
where-
in southern
Uh-huh.
Connecticut.
So which part would be more heavy in traffic? And which part is more
You can
light,
see it
not too heavy?
right there.
Probably like see how the further apart they are, the more it's broken up, the more traffic there is.
Yes, because maybe I'm thinking like if it's not, where the traffic is not too heavy, it would be the pipes.
Yes,
So
Or
the car-
where it's the most heavy so that they can go there,
yeah.
because they don't have to go over the top of the
Right.
road. But yeah, so we did a bunch of visits for those, and we're gonna do
Isn't that fun?
We have them
Yeah.
scheduled for October already, or
We have
for
it, we have it
September.
scheduled?
We have them scheduled for, of course, I don't have it on me now because my
So
tablet
That's what
died.
happened to my phone too. I can't
Um,
look. But we
maybe-
have it, we already have October scheduled, you think?
That's what I mean. It's September, not
Oh,
October.
sorry.
And I think it was the same, was it the same weekend as the, was it like a Thursday or something?
Thursday, was
Oh,
it
because this is-
Thursday the
my
19th
boss
prior
asked me
to?
Dog sit, and it's gonna be like Thursday.
Thursday the
Friday,
19th.
Saturday,
Thursday,
because we
is
have
that
two
when it
things
was?
going
Okay, I
on.
remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the other thing?
Thursday
That's
the
when I have
19th.
dog sit now.
Oh, because of the 21st was gonna be, yeah, so it's the 19th.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think I'm good.
It's-
So hopefully I will.
If you
be
want to
there.
come,
He was.
Yeah, you
definitely-
can come.
that
we
would be
can,
awesome.
we can
I,
share.
I don't know,
Essex, so
I'm
we
not
went
sure
on
how to
Essex
drive over there, but it would
for
be
like-
awesome.
Well, maybe Christine could pick you up, you know,
Maybe
if you
can
can come
do-
by.
So I was thinking in another one, the
He's
trees.
a nice guy.
If
so I-
there is a way like to put the trees like on top, like
Oh, so
connect
they
one
look
to
at
the
that.
other, and the salamanders or the animals can just cross the
They were
street, something
talking
they
about-
can go.
So I
Yeah.
don't think a salamander would climb, but they did look at that for flying squirrels.
Okay,
Like when if the canopy connects over the road, that's one of the things they're looking for is does it connect or
And
is it
squirrels,
disconnected?
any
Yeah.
kind of stuff
oh,
can
yes,
jump.
the
Yeah.
trees, that's gonna
Right.
help. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna help.
Yeah,
Like, okay, I don't know what is this, but I'm just,
yeah, you get it.
yeah.
I'm gonna leave you on the list for
Yeah,
all their
yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
And you just don't have to respond to whatever you don't want to. And if you want to come,
Yeah.
meet up with Christine, or I could even pick you up if you want.
Yeah, same with me. Just text me or whatever.
So,
Coordinate.
Yes, I hope I am available the day you're going.
Yeah.
Because I know I can do on Monday or Tuesday.
Yep.
Or Thursday.
Oh,
That's
so
my-
this is
That's my
Thursday.
days off.
Thursday at
This is
5.
Thursday at
So-
5. So, yeah.
Okay.
Great. Well, so that's already taken care of. We were gonna set an open space inventory day for, I know I'm moving on,
That's fine.
for October at the last meeting. So do you want to wait till September to set that again? Okay.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
'cause-
stick with October,
Yeah, we're sticking with October.
although it's gonna be busy in October too, but we have to do it later, we do it later,
Yeah,
whatever,
okay.
we'll figure it out.
We must be knocking them out. How many, what do we have left? Do we have a lot left?
We're pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them, we're finding more as we're going,
But
but
that's
they're,
fine.
yeah,
That's like where it should be.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay.
we're doing good.
Yay.
Whatever happened with that up by me, where the homeowner encroached and,
Yes.
yeah, what happened with that?
So that's the last item I had,
Oh,
which is
Oh,
perfect.
Conservation easement.
I have
enforcement.
another idea.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's okay.
Well, I don't know if this is crazy, but we're talking about the speed with the cars in
Mhm.
traffic.
Mhm.
People love wrong. I don't like wrong.
Hmm.
But, and how about in the traffic? It's gonna be on purpose. I know they're supposed to reduce when you had to go like this, right?
Switchbacks?
So they reduce the speed. They get more time to whoever's happening if it's an animal crossing.
Mhm. But then the animal can't see because you're coming around the corner too.
That's way too much engineering.
But that's the kind of, but those are the kind of things that they're trying to, because if you post a speed, say slow down, people aren't gonna listen to you anyway, right?
I do. I do.
Well, you would save people, right?
Yeah,
But
but
you
the
know the
people-
others that don't,
Yes.
But so for the conservation easement, so this was up on Hillendale Boulevard,
Okay.
sent a notice out, heard back from the woman, she wants to comply. She asked, she has a bunch of kids and she's just like, can I wait till school starts? Like, can we do it in September?
Okay.
And I said, that's fine. I wasn't like pushing a fast
Can you
enforcement on
refresh
it.
my memory as to what the encroachment was? Was that
Sure.
like something built in the,
I'm gonna share it with Aaron right now.
all right, look at that.
They just made,
Awesome, thanks.
I just
Learning
can't
my
remember because
lesson.
there's so many of them. Sometimes
they
they're
cut down
building,
trees and stuff and make.
a patio in there sometimes.
It's not that, it's more just a lawn. It's just
Okay.
a big lawn.
Okay,
It's not as bad as it could be, but.
that's good. I just,
But
my,
if you
my,
don't stop it, it'll get worse.
Right, and it was done recent enough that it's like, it wasn't done 25 years
Right,
ago and
right.
like where, it feels a little, so it's this one. There's the easement,
okay,
this little thing here,
okay.
and you can see if you look underneath it, there's lawn. Let's go back.
I love that you have that feature. as a
So
board.
see how it's all woods?
Yep.
And then at some
Wow.
point,
God, it's so much nicer as woods.
at some point, 2020
There you go. Okay, so 20.
they cleared this piece out of the easement.
Okay,
It was something like less than a quarter of an acre,
uh-huh.
you know, but,
That's, you know,
and then it became forested or that.
Okay,
So to
grass.
comply, they have to replant, right?
I told her she would have to submit a restoration plan to be approved by this commission. We do this a lot in wetlands. Christine can say I'm very aggressive at making people restore things.
Yeah.
But we try not to make it too hard, you know, like we're not gonna require that they bring in wetlands. We often don't require,
mature trees.
right, we often don't require them to do full trees. We do like a conservation, a mix of native plants and, you know, grading to allow it to become a wetland again, and then usually bouldering or marking in some way to just keep them out of
Keep
that
people
area.
out.
So it could be something like that where you request that they put a boulder line or a split
Yeah.
rail fence or something, and, you know, and then, you know, tilling and some kind of seeding.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, the
Is there
hard thing
property
is that that's
line
where all the
follow
invasives
the
are gonna
easement
go.
line?
no, they own, oh, yes, it does, the top of the easement. So they
Oh,
own,
so-
they own the whole thing.
Even though they own it, they're
They
not
violated the
supposed
terms of
to-
the easement.
Let me see this,
Okay.
that conservation easement is such a funny shape. What,
Oh, it stalks. I'm sorry. It's,
oh my gosh, what is
this is Dan's fault.
Probably was. I don't know what the hell I was doing.
this? This is
So
crazy.
for conservation set asides, it was a regular practice everywhere to do these buffer strip conservation easements to protect the neighboring landowners
Yeah.
from cutting down trees. It's not a great conservation outcome because it's like impossible to enforce, and it's like, you know, it doesn't really provide too much conservation benefit, like
Yeah.
in and of themselves.
Yeah.
But this one is reasonable enough
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like here
Right,
or
right.
here,
Some of them could
you
have
know.
gotten.
But look at how, I mean, nobody else is really going.
I don't
Dallas
really
Company
blame you.
did.
And you had like, you had so many subdivisions going on
Right.
at the same time.
So somebody else cleared, huh?
This was, I think I spent my time in looking through all these and went back as far back as we had records.
Uh-huh.
And like, this was always, like, it was
Okay, so it's
probably,
always a little more
it was
open.
probably cleared when they built a subdivision.
Got it.
And so I tried to look at just the things that were done in the past 5 years so that we don't have to relitigate stuff that
Yeah.
happened 5 property owners ago. Which you have the right to
And
do.
it's kind of interesting though, that I mean, they're not clearing at all. They have these deep lots and they like their woods. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not, they're not great easements, but anyway, I thought that was a worthwhile enforcement. So,
It was entertaining.
It's not the worst.
So, anyway, so that's that piece and that's all I had.
Okay, so we have a motion to adjourn
So moved.
on a second. All in favor?
All right.
I'm gonna say that.
Aye.
Lindsay. Yeah. Okay, motion carries. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for keeping me on task, Aaron.
No problem. Thank you.
All right.
Bye, guys.